Hello, Bible readers. It is Thursday, August 6th. As of today, I have two teenagers in my household. So my son turns 13 today. So today is a day when I'm thinking about generations. Because, of course, when kids turn older, it makes parents feel older. I don't know how it feels for grandparents. I haven't gotten there yet. Maybe some of you could share that with me. But we are reading from Genesis. We're finishing up Genesis today, Genesis 48 through 50, where we will see the end of Jacob's journey, and then Matthew chapter 7, and we get into chapter 8 as well. This end of Genesis, this last big chunk of Genesis has been dominated by the story of Jacob and Joseph, Jacob's sons, this move to Egypt. Brueggemann says the focus was in the previous parts of this story of Jacob. The focus was on new life. Jacob is found. The family is fed. Now it is death time. These materials may be useful to the listening community of our own time in facing the problem of death. Modernity would rob us of the capacity to face death faithfully. The collapse of tradition and memory, of community and hope, has made death an acutely private crisis for which individual persons lack resources. We don't have a terribly healthy relationship in the West to death. We do consider it something to be feared and wonder a lot about what happens after, and it can keep us from just living in hope. And he has more to say about what it might look like to read this end of Genesis as a model of living into hope. This is the story of the promise that gives shape to the dying. Jacob, he says, there's nothing here about any life after death. Jacob goes not to heaven, but to Hebron. Going to Hebron at death suggests an important and distinctive attitude toward death. Jacob continues to hope even into his death. But his hope is not that immortality is to be remembered by his children, one often held by Jews, nor is his hope one that is often held by Christians in a stereotyped life after death. Rather, Jacob does his dying as he does his living, in terms of a promise that is not doubted, and that is enough, even though he doesn't know the form of the fulfillment. I find that to be profound, that for Jacob it is good enough to have been a part of a promise made from God to God's people, that it was through him that the promise was kept and shall be kept still through his kids. That is the lesson to learn from how Jacob dies, is to see that he is not dying with this hope of a personal immortality, but instead as one who has had and has right then, even into his dying, a relationship with a promise-keeping God. Of course, our New Testament text, we've got some more wisdom sayings here in Matthew. Maybe one of the most famous, where Jesus is saying, those who listen to my words are like those who build their house on solid rock, as opposed to those who don't listen to me and build on sand. That's a pretty, of all the parables and teachings, some can be kind of, hard to understand. This one we get it. This whole section, the end of chapter 7, Matthew really sees, at least in this part, two kinds of people. The two ways, the two trees, those who do God's will and those who don't. Those who get rewarded, those who get punished. This would be a common way of understanding humanity from wisdom literature. This is not how Matthew even, or the rest of the Gospels, will consider humanity as always. They don't always talk about some will be judged this way, some will be judged that way. But in this section, Matthew is echoing wisdom literature. Just know that this isn't the only way Matthew speaks of humans. I am one with my God. My God is with us, all of us, at all times and in all places.